Engineering is difficult, but sometimes the difficult part is not the engineering itself, it's the assumption people make about you. I learned that very quickly when I started working as an engineer. Welcome back to my channel. When I first started my career in engineering, I was excited. I had studied for years, worked hard, and finally I was doing the job I trained for. Solving problems, designing things, working on a real project. But after some time, I started noticing something interesting. Sometimes the biggest challenges were not technical problems, it was the assumption by people. And if you are a woman working in engineering, you might understand exactly what I mean. I remember one meeting early in my career. I walked into the room, sat down with the team, and we started discussing the project. After a few minutes, someone asked me something surprising. They asked me if I could help take notes for the meeting. The funny part is, I was the engineer responsible for part of the design. Moments like this are not always intentional. Sometimes people just assume things without even thinking. So probably he thought that the man in the room is the engineer and the woman is there to assist. Over time, I noticed something else. Sometimes I had to explain my ideas more carefully. Sometimes I had to prove my knowledge again and again, not because I didn't know my work, but because people were not used to seeing women in that role. I also worked with many supportive and professional colleagues and co-workers. Another thing I noticed was opportunities. In some environments, leadership roles or technical responsibilities were given to men more often. Sometimes salaries were different. Sometimes the job simply went to a man first, not always because someone wanted to be unfair. Sometimes it was simply workplace culture. And for many women, work is only part of the story, especially for married women. After finishing a full day at work, another shift begins at home. Cooking, planning, family responsibilities. Now, of course, there are a lot of husbands who help their wives. But sometimes for some women, this is not the case. So it would feel like managing two full-time projects at the same time. Balancing all of this is not easy. After some time, I realized something important. The problem was not my skill. The problem was the environment. Some workplaces still had these old assumptions, but others were completely different. When I started working remotely with international teams, the experience changed a lot. Suddenly, what matters most is your work, your ideas, your skills, and your results. That experience taught me a few important lessons. First, not every comment deserves your energy. Second, your skill will always speak louder than assumptions. Third, it's important to set boundaries at work. And finally, choosing the right environment can change everything. Engineer is a field that benefits from different perspectives. Men and women both bring valuable skills and ideas. And thankfully, many workplaces today are becoming more open and supportive. If you are a woman in engineering facing similar challenges, keep going. And if you enjoy honest conversation about work, career, and real experience, consider subscribing because We are just getting started. Thank you.